all I did was give the secretary a slap on the ass. I had no idea it would ruin my life. My boss happened to see the whole thing and fired me on the spot. As I packed up my stuff and headed out, I realized I'd left my phone at my desk, so I had to go back for it. But the second I stepped upstairs, I walked right into something horrifying. In that split second, I pressed myself into a corner. Luckily, the killer didn't notice me. While he was busy dealing with the body, I sprinted toward my desk. All I needed was my phone to call the cops. But when I pushed the door open...
Tom! What are you still doing? Voice down. My voice down. The guy on food's torching the body. What are you talking about? Right, you gotta go. You gotta get out of here. What did he look like?
I don't know. He's 6 foot, 80. He's wearing a suit.
I immediately told my coworker there was a killer in the building, and after a quick discussion, we decided to get out first and then call for help. But the elevator had already been cut off, and the emergency exit had been locked from the outside. Every way out was sealed, so we split up. My coworker went to call the police, and I headed for the boss's office because I suddenly remembered he was still in the building. But when I got there, the office was completely empty. Meanwhile, the moment my coworker got through to the police, the killer appeared right behind him. My coworker panicked and hung up immediately. Then the killer pulled out a gun and pressed it against the back of his head.
Is anybody else working late tonight?
No, it's just...
But what no one expected was, the killer patted him on the head and just walked away. Right when my coworker thought he'd been spared, the killer came back with a length of wire. A little while later, I had no idea what had happened, and was heading over to meet up with my coworker to figure out our next move. But as I reached the office door, I caught a shadow on the glass, and it matched the killer's silhouette exactly. I ducked into the restroom next door. The next second, I realized the security guard had clearly been killed too. When I went to check on him, I accidentally hit the flush handle. Terrified the noise would draw the killer in, I rushed into a stall and shut the door, and climbed on top of the body and lifted my feet off the floor. Before I could even catch my breath, the killer walked into the restroom. The moment I heard footsteps, my whole body went stiff. Thankfully, he was only there to wash the blood off his hands. I had just started to relax when the killer suddenly said something out loud.
How you doing there, Brian?
Luckily, he was just talking about a key on the body, but that also meant he'd be coming into the stall any second to grab it. A wild idea flashed through my mind, and I went for it without thinking. But before I could steady myself in the stall, I accidentally triggered the motion sensor flush. It was only a matter of time before I'd be exposed. Luckily, right as the killer stood up, I triggered the flush again at the exact same moment to cover the sound. Once the killer left the restroom, I knew I had one last shot at getting out alive.